We need permission for clerk to pay insurance at time of billing, to pay utilities at time of billing, to pay utility incentives before the 25th of the month, to pay theater bills when due, to pay payment service network bills when due, and to pay city attorney bills when due. Moved by Kale, second by Larry, all in favor? Motion passed. Sheriff report.
Alright. The first thing I want to discuss with you guys, I was hoping to go a little bit faster than what it was. I called over and talked to him, City Hall, about a month ago. I'm working on getting DigiTicket set up, which is an electronic ticket writing, so we don't have to buy more tickets. Don't have the 5 copies. Don't have to use the antiquated 3-ring binder to look things up. It should all be in there. He was going to contact you guys in your court and see what would be needed to set it up, as far as like getting your ordinances put in there, fine schedule putting in there, and also an interface to the court, because one of the options that we have, instead of coming over and delivering a ticket to your guys' office, you'll just electronically send it and interface with the court software. When I talked to him a couple weeks ago, he told me he was going to be out of the office until early January, and then he'd start working on it again. I think this would resolve a lot of issues that I have in my office with carrying 3 ticket books, 2 ordinance books, 1 state statute book, 3 fine schedules, 3 court dates. It's all going to be in there. It's going to be automatic and prompted. We're just going to have to stay on top of things. If we change the court date, we really need to get in there and get it changed, because it's just going to auto-populate on the ticket. If we change an ordinance or add an ordinance, we got to remember to get in there, or change a fine schedule. We got to get in there, because like I said, it'll all be auto-populated. I did this, I looked into this before COVID hit. And when COVID hit, kind of dropped it and didn't look into it anymore. Just like anything else, I plan on it that it's probably going to be a lot more expensive than what it was before COVID. And I really don't want to say much, because I haven't got the quote back to know what dollar figures are. But what I'm going to ask for from each of the municipalities, as far as I'll pay for the whole deal, except for the interface into the court software. If you guys wanted to interface into your court software, I'd ask for you guys to pay that part. I'll pay for the licensing, all that. The lion's share of it I'll pay for. I don't have a dollar figure to give you of what that would cost when the time comes.
Ballpark it?
What's that?
It's a ballpark number.
Well, the whole project, including all of that pre-COVID, was $16,000.
Oh.
And that included the printers. You have to buy the paper from them, because it's a goofy size
special
paper and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
The software licensing, all of that in 2019 was $16,000.
Yeah.
So, and I would assume that those are very small components of that interface. You just have to get a hold of, I don't even know what company you guys use for your court software.
G-Works.
G-Works. The licensing with G-Works, and then getting a hold of G-Works and building that interface and going. I can't imagine it'd be that much of it. So whenever I get that quote, I'm going to come in and talk to you guys about that. So I plan on paying for the majority of it, and the equipment and all that stuff. But the interface, I'm going to ask for you guys in Bird City to pay for the interface. So the other thing, and I don't know if I'm beating Amanda to the punch, the dogs at the clinic.
And I did not have a chance to get this to you. I got it this afternoon. You're not, but I only have 2 copies, but I've seen it, you've seen it, Dan's seen it, Lauren's seen it. Yeah.
Okay.
Coincidentally, Amanda called me and sent me a copy of what the clinic had sent her about what they're going to charge to board the dogs. We have to take dogs up there. Coincidentally, right after she called me, I got sent to a dog, and I took it up there, not planning on keeping it there, just to have them identify the dog, which they did. And I kind of talked to them a little bit more about it, and I don't know. It's how comfortable you guys feel. I think they are not getting paid by customers. I don't know what the deal is, but they want to bill the city or the county, whoever brings the dog in directly, and then let us worry about getting money from the owner of the dog.
And I guess my two concerns are, one, it has to be sheriff's department or city employee instigated for the city to pick up the bill, one. It can't be,
Yeah.
Gail finds a stray dog and he takes it up to the vet clinic and then the city's gonna get billed for it. Well, okay, so maybe Travis Jensen finds it.
Yeah.
Somebody not associated with the city, yeah. And the other thing is, if we're required to pay for the boarding,
Right.
they should have, and I don't know the simplest way to do that would maybe be come to City Hall, pay for the boarding fees, get a receipt, take the receipt up to the clinic to get your dog. So that way, I don't think Judy, and I haven't talked to her, just the way her sheet said, that the city and or county is responsible for payment.
Yeah.
So I don't think she wants to be involved with the collecting and having,
No.
so
And,
Yeah.
I
And I
think
know in the
before we
past-
turn an animal over,
Yeah.
we want that boarding fee paid up front.
and I think she doesn't wanna be the bad guy either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing that I thought about when I was up there and I was talking to him was, where do we draw the line? I mean, what if you have a dog up there for 3 weeks? Where do we say?
Yeah.
And then what do we do with it after we say? I mean, you keep a dog for 5 years up there if nobody claims it? I mean, where do you draw the line?
I think there's a certain, Lauren, correct me, and maybe Judy has certain, they hold it for so many days and if nobody claims it, then they put it up for adoption.
Okay,
And then the problem would be if it's not vaccinated or spayed or neutered, I think Judy would go through, I think before she adopts an animal, how she kind of goes through at least some of that process.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I guess that would have to be in something, it has in our ordinance that if the dog's not claimed within 7 days, it can be destroyed.
And I don't think we're to, like, if it's not claimed within 7 days, it can be put up for adoption, and I don't know what the hold period is for the vet clinic. And that's something we could, like,
I think that needs to be discussed with Judy. I mean,
I
the-
think if
the ordinance says that at 7 days, the dog can be destroyed. If 7 days passes and no one comes to claim the dog can be destroyed, which seems a bit extreme.
Unless it's a runaway or something that we don't know whose it is, I mean, I'd say 9 times out of 10, you're gonna know whose dog it is, aren't you?
no, well, let me phrase that. I'd say it's lower than that, probably 7 out of 10 within a couple days, either through Facebook or the vet clinic recognizes it or something, you usually find the owner. But you still have that 3 or 4 a year that nobody ever claims. And, like I said, and then you get into a higher ratio during hunting season, because hunting dogs take off and they end up in town because they're attracted to people, and you'll never find out who owns those, but,
Well, they'd make great adoption pets then,
yeah.
hunting dogs.
Yeah.
So.
yeah.
But I'd say on the average about 4 a year that we never discovered who's owning this.
So that's not bad.
No,
That's like not much.
And then somebody took them.
Well, I usually it ends up being kind of labor intensive and, expensive, but I either beg the animal shelter in McCook or the one in Goodland, whoever has room for them, and I take them there, drive them there and drop them off and everything. Is what we usually do if we can't find an owner. Every once in a while, we're lucky somebody sees it on Facebook and sends a message that says, "It's not my dog, but if nobody claims it, I want it." And every once in a while, I've had good luck calling back up and saying, "Guess what? You own a dog, go get it." So, but that, doesn't happen every time. We've made our fair share of trips to Goodland and McCook to take dogs.
and I think
there.
Judy is willing to work at trying to get them adopted out.
Mhm.
And if it comes to the point where she's had it 2 weeks and it's the expense of the city,
Mhm.
then.
Well, that's my thing. I just wanna make sure it's not something that ends up at $20 a day. That
3
adds
years
up.
later, yeah.
Yeah,
We're not gonna keep them that long if we can't.
90 days at, 3 months at $20 is quite
Yeah.
a bit. So I wanna make sure we have a designated time that we pull the trigger and,
Probably need to talk to her about if she is gonna put them up for adoption, pay for the fees for that stuff, inside, initiate from the city or the county.
Well, that would be, the city would pick up the bill, unless, for whatever reason, Cody picked up a dog out in the country.
We, like I said, during hunting season, we do quite a bit,
Mm-hmm.
but that'd be a county bill, not the city
Yeah,
bill.
but like I said, I think, what is that, like as far as getting the vaccinations and that kind of stuff,
Mhm.
you know, she would require that before the dog could be released. At least rabies, I think, is that,
Yeah, the rabies, she said she was gonna be, or they said, I didn't talk to Judy directly, they said they were gonna be strict about the rabies. So,
Lauren, what does our ordinance say as far as if we pick up animals before they can be released? Is there anything about fully vaccinated or just rabies? Or is there anything?
Give me a second to get to that.
Bottom line, wouldn't it be cheaper than trying to get a dog bound up and going? Time you hire somebody to do it?
and you pay, I mean, that's a small space, but still, you know, during this cold spell, you might have been heating it. You know, how much is it gonna cost to heat that small space? I understand it's gotta be cooled during the summer, doesn't it?
I think so.
You know, you're gonna run AC, I mean, just the utilities on it alone are gonna be pretty.
It would be way cheaper.
I agree with having it built through the city, but then how do you recollect the funds if it's somebody in town?
That's what I said, they have to come here, pay the boarding fees before they go up and pick up. I mean, I think that'd have to be an agreement with Judy that if we're responsible, we wanna make sure that it's paid before they go
You know,
pick
they
it
come up there and identify their dog, she'll say, great, go down to the city and pay your
Mm-hmm,
boarding fees, and she emails or fax or calls up and says what it's gonna be, and
yeah.
Wouldn't the same apply for adopting the dog? If you wanted to adopt it, then you pay the costs of shots and
I
boarding.
mean, I suppose we could,
Well, that's just it. I mean, does that fall on the city, does that fall on whoever's gonna adopt it?
I mean, it wouldn't be a free.
I think, you know, I'm just thinking ethically, you would pay the vet clinic and get them out of the same thing, I mean, that's what Judy's wanting.
Yeah.
And then you charge an adoption fee, I mean, you go to the Humane Society and adopt a dog,
Yeah, you're paying an adoption.
you're gonna pay an adoption fee to cover all that stuff.
It's not a free dog because it's adopted. It's,
Right.
you're still paying for services.
But I think to make Judy happy, and it's somebody we wanna keep happy,
Yeah, definitely.
that, you know,
and if it comes to, it has to go to an animal shelter, then the city's not paying it.
yeah.
Which might be a couple a year. That's not.
It's not
Terrible.
that much, no.
No.
So talk to Judy, and start ironing everything out.
It doesn't have anything about rabies. It has if there's a suspicion, if it's suspected for rabies, but it doesn't have anything on just checking every.
Which I think that's a requirement of Judy's, is that has to be, which, like I said, I don't know if, cause didn't you say that the ordinance said the owner would have to pay a $5?
Yeah,
Boarding
it has
fees, we
here
have to
that the
update
city
the-
shall collect a $5 per day as an impoundment fee for every day that the animal is impounded. The fee shall be paid prior to the release of any impounded animal and shall be in addition to any fines and costs which result from the charges filed against the animal's owner or responsible party. And so, I mean, that would need to be, that's, section 2-116. And so that fee will need, that fee would need to be, there'll need to be an amendment to that code section. Because, if Judy's charging the city $20 a day and the city is collecting $5 a day,
Mm-hmm.
that is a loss of $15 a day every time a dog is picked up.
But we could also add in their requirement that it's either proof of full vaccination and or it be vaccinated prior to.
Release,
Mm-hmm.
including the cost of, right, yeah, we can put that in there.
Yeah, cause that was the whole rabies thing. I know we had a case, lady owned the dog, swore that the dog had been vaccinated because it goes to the vet all the time. We went up to the vet clinic, they're like, she's never asked for it to be vaccinated, so it was not vaccinated. So there's some people who think their dogs are vaccinated that are not. The other question I had, and I asked somebody at the front desk, they need to clarify, is it says $20 when you go through the door, and the animal is brought through the door. We take a lot of dogs up there that do not stay there, that we bring in, and they look it over, like either trying to find a chip, or if they know the owner, are they gonna charge us for that? I want that to be clear. They didn't have a clear answer for me when I asked, when I was up there. Are they gonna charge for the chip location and or for them to go through their records to see if it's a dog they know?
I wouldn't blame them if they did.
I mean, they're
They
using
gotta
their
take-
equipment, their time,
Yeah.
so. But I think just so that everybody is on the same page and there's no hard feelings or something later, if we get a bill, that we should ask that as we're hammering this out, that if they're gonna charge from it for it, that's fine, but let us know.
Mm-hmm.
Let us know how much that's gonna be. Cause there's times when you could probably, it's the quickest, fastest answer you're gonna get is going to the vet clinic. You're probably gonna get an answer real fast. If they're gonna charge us $50 to do it, maybe you'll knock on 2 or 3 more doors and ask if they know whose dog it is.
And if you know whose dog it is and you can't get a hold of them, you might
Mhm.
knock on a couple more neighbors'
Yeah,
doors to say, hey, can you, get a hold
Yeah.
of so-and-so?
yeah. But that's it. I think it's,
At least we
that's
have
what they
something
wanna
we know,
do,
yeah.
and we don't really have any other options. And I don't think it's exorbitant, if you clean up dog feces and feed it and water it for $20 a day, I don't think that's an exorbitant price to charge for that.
No. Lauren, your thoughts as far as, we just need to update the ordinance on the one for sure?
We need to update the ordinance on the, we need to update the ordinance on the fees. And we would need to update the rabies vaccination requirement for picking up the dog. To include the cost, that they must either furnish proof of current rabies vaccination or before the dog will be released, it's going to have a
Should we
rabies
say
vaccine.
fully vaccinated, or?
I don't think you can require full rabies, I understand, but the rest of the stuff,
Yeah.
rabies would be a safety issue.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So do rabies and then,
I don't think you wanna update any of this until you nail everything down with Judy, do you?
I don't think so, cause we, at least.
No, but I'm just saying what will need to be updated in the ordinance, so if any of this needs to be discussed with Judy, that's what needs to be discussed. We'd need to update the fine schedule, and we'd need to update whether or not we're going to require proof of rabies vaccination, or
It'd be vaccinated.
otherwise part of the cost will be vaccinated, and it needs to be made clear from whoever takes the payment needs to make it clear that this does not include their
Court cut.
cost,
If they have-
their court cost, or their, I guess if we have a citation by that point, we can have it, first time it's $25 with $158 court cost. Second time is $50, every time after that is $75. And so, at the point that we should be able to know if someone is a repeat offender, and so, I guess when we find the individual, we can have it, I don't know if we wanna have it,
And can you write something in there that goes back to the root of the problem? The reason the dog is at the vet clinic was there for 2 days is because we couldn't identify it. The reason we couldn't identify it is it didn't have a city tag on it.
I think
Are you gonna let them
absolutely
get the dog back without purchasing a tag?
I think where it's a requirement to have a dog tag, I think we should
Mhm.
require.
I don't think it's I think it's its own thing. When you cite for dog at large, you need to cite for no dog tag.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, for the pickup, when they come down and pay, say they were in there for 2 days and they owe $40. So Judy says you need to come down to the city hall and pay
Pay
the
it.
$40.
And oh, by the way, you're gonna.
Does
have
she
to
say,
get
by the way,
a
you
tag.
need to get a dog tag too before we let you go get your dog?
I think,
I have no objection to that. I mean, the dogs have to be.
Cause that's the
Within
whole
the
reason
city.
it's up there and not, wasn't taken back to their house, was because they didn't have a dog tag we could identify it with.
Right.
So,
I would agree.
I mean, there's the other thing that they may have a dog tag that's not on the dog. I mean, that's. Give me a second to look at that ordinance section.
Who's this one patrolling around town?
What's Killer Park?
What's that?
What's Killer Pond, sorry.
Good, it took some doing, that was a headache.
That's cleared up.
That's squared up. Still in town.
Yeah. Somewhere else?
Well, he's staying someplace now.
Yeah, I mean, it has that the dog tag shall be attached to the collar to be used on the dog so registered, but I mean, if the dog slips out of its collar, that's not really gonna do us.
No, but I mean,
I agree that we can say an unregistered dog needs to be registered,
I'm gonna
but
say that a low occurrence, that's gonna be the case.
City's gonna have a record of that anyway.
I'm gonna say that's gonna be a very low occurrence. I mean, it does happen, the dog slipped a collar, but that's gonna be the
I
low
mean, the dog that
percentage
was
of
found the other
dogs.
day had a collar on it with absolutely no tags, which I don't know what the point of that is.
Oh, but I think that's where, I think we need to require that before the dog's released. Obviously, they're gonna come down here and pay their boarding fee, they can pay the $3 or $5 for a dog tag or whatever it is.
It's 10 for if it's not spayed or neutered, and 3 if it is.
Okay, so 3 or 10. Which is not that. I mean, I just think if we require it, and we pick up a stray dog,
Like I said, it caused, it not having the tag on it caused the reason they're standing there.
I would say we require that.
Because otherwise, we would've been on their door, said, here's your dog, you're gonna get a warning letter. Goodbye, it would've been over. Instead, it's.
So, question. We're now sending warning letters for dogs at large or dog tags?
Both, is my understanding.
So why are we paying $20 a day for boarding and not writing them a ticket the first time we have to do that? Like, that doesn't
No,
make sense to
you're,
me.
you're jumping ahead with where my discussion line was going.
I get the sending the dog.
Mhm.
I get the sending, hey, your dog isn't registered, you need to register. I get a courtesy warning for that.
Mhm.
But any dog owner should know that your dog needs to be leashed and or contained.
Yes, and that's, like I said, you jumped ahead where I was guiding the conversation after I finished talking about the tag, the next thing was, okay, now if we're gonna have this added expense, in the past, the procedure was, the first time we sent them a letter saying, hey, your dog was at large, you need to take care of this, whether it's their fence and they need to work on it or what have you, the next time you're gonna get a citation, well, if we went through all this trouble, are we still just gonna give them a warning on the first offense, even though we had to take their dog up and they spent 3 days at the vet clinic? How do you guys feel about that, is how you want the enforcement? If we have to kennel it, should we just go ahead and give them a citation then? Or do we go back to giving the warning?
I guess I was surprised that there was a warning for that.
Yeah, we give
I
them
mean, it's up
warnings.
to it's obviously up to the council. I'm not on council. That's up to the council. But
If it's not vicious, I mean, if it's vicious, that's different, but if it's not vicious, we give a warning the first time the dog is out. And then the ticket afterwards. And then we have the documented trail of, you were given a warning, just same as tags or too many dogs, whatever the issue is, you have a documentation, you were given a warning this time.
I guess as long as they're paying the fees and it's not costing us anything more,
It's,
would we just not follow?
that's
suit?
100% you guys, how you guys want that.
Give them a warning the first time it
Yeah,
happens
warning the
again,
first
time,
and
yeah.
you get cited. I mean, I would at least give them a warning.
Unless you got
Yeah.
a major repeat offender or something.
Well, but by that time, you already got the second.
Right.
I mean, we just went through that where we have a case now they had been warned, they've been given a letter, and it worked for a week or two, and then their dog was back over in the neighbor's yard doing its business again, and they got a citation. So,
Yeah.
but that wasn't like running around town, we had to chase it and catch it, that's, this is different, we had to catch it. It's never dry when we catch a dog, it's always wet, they shake every bit of mud off your vehicle, you scratch your seat, it comes with its own complications, but, like I said, that's your guys' deal, how you want that procedure to be. If you still want them to have a warning, even though we kenneled it, I'm fine with that.
I think so.
I think that so that in the event Judy changes her fees, we don't have to. In the event Judy changes her fees, we don't have to keep updating the ordinance. I think it would be prudent once we get it all nailed down to put that it is going to be at the then current. Since he's not here, I'm gonna move this. It will be charged in accordance with the then current rate of the contracted kennel provider. A copy of such fee schedule can be found at City Hall. And so that way, if 5 years from now Judy says, hey, we're going to $25 a day, or hey, we're going to 30, or whatever it is, we don't have to keep changing the ordinance every time that happens. Because my understanding is the city's probably not going to be building and maintaining its own dog pound. So I would just suggest that that's how we do the wording on that, so we don't have to revise it, and then people say, hey, you're supposed to be charging me X dollars instead of Y dollars.
I would agree with that. Any more on that? Do you have anything else, Cody? Do we hear a motion to follow and approve the sheriff's report?
So,
Moved by Gail, second by Larry, all in favor? Alrighty.
Yes.
Thanks, Cody.
See you, Cody.
See ya.
Alright. New business mayor appointments.
doesn't look like anything's really changed, right?
Other than our new clerk.
Well, besides that part. I mean, the rest of the stuff, as far
I
as
don't-
council, I think it looks the same. except
We
the
still need to find
Keller Pond thing, but
Keller
that's it.
Pond. Any thoughts? That Dan Boyer on there.
Put Jen Blair on there. Travis is here, he can do it.
I really kinda think that. I need to sit down with Tom and see what he's thinking, because, like I said, I have not been able to get a hold of Tom. I've tried 3 or 4 times, he won't respond to me. I'm not hugely concerned about this at this point.
You said you are?
I'm not,
Oh, you're not, okay.
cause I think Tom got a lot of what he wanted to get accomplished when Dave Fleming was still here.
Mm-hmm.
Pulled a lot of strings at the last minute.
Do we need a motion to approve this? I'll make a motion.
Rebecca, second by Darrell, all in favor? Alright. Bond documents. Review and consider resolution 2023-1 sale of bonds. Do you have anything, Leanne?
No, but I did speak with Courtney over at Gilmore and Bell. And she says that, yes, you just need to make a motion on the resolution for the actual sale of the bond. They've already put it out for advertising that's supposed to be done this week on the 12th. Then, of course, they just need the excerpts of the meeting from tonight for it. And I believe that is it for the bond documents. Now, there is an advertisement on there for the street projects from Miller and Associates. They also require a motion for their advertisement of the street projects itself going to bid. And that's supposed to be the 23rd of February is when that opens.
I guess my only concern, that's what I was talking with Lauren when I first came in, is it was my understanding that only the mayor can sign resolutions and ordinances.
So the mayor can sign the ordinance, but after 2 weeks, if he does not sign it, it goes into effect without his signature.
Mm-hmm.
So it will go into effect, if you guys motion to approve it tonight, it will go into effect by the next council meeting.
I was just curious because it has president of the council for the signature line.
I will
So that
have,
was my concern. Is
I will have Courtney fix that one.
I was like, I don't know that I can sign that, but
Yeah, no, we kept, Lila kept trying to tell them that the mayor was going to be absent and to make sure that it would still go into effect and that you were going to be the mayor pro term. And that is probably why it's on there. Yes, but I could have her fix that.
okay.
Well, it's got to still be able to sign it though.
It goes into effect in 2 weeks regardless of
I guess
whether or not
either
he
way,
signs
it's
it.
just-
So when he
Whether-
gets home,
He's back.
he can sign it and then it,
We just
He-
have to make a motion to approve it, right?
yeah.
Yes,
Alright,
but I don't think he'll need to sign it when he comes home
Okay,
because it'll already be in effect. But I can find out.
okay, yeah. That might be,
so do we go ahead and?
I think we can make a motion to approve with the change in the signature line.
Yes.
Okay, so moved.
Moved by Kale,
Second.
second by Larry. We need a roll call vote, don't we? Kale?
Yes.
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 Larry, yes.
Yes.
Larry, yes. All right. Motion passed.
Also need the motion for the
The
street
notice of sale, that one?
the advertisement
Notice of
for
bond
the
sale.
notice to bid.
Do we need a resolution for the notice of bond sale? What's next on the list?
No, I think that's just the advertisement. Wait.
Third. And there's going on link. Advertisement, oh, there it is.
Was Tyler calling it, or was we just call Tyler?
He says that we can call him if you have any questions in regards to just making the motion of the advertisement, or if you guys have any questions whatsoever.
So we don't need a motion for the notice of bond. I haven't been able to open the other.
I don't think so, cause they generate that from their end.
Yeah, No, because when I talked to Courtney, she says that the resolution was the only thing that needed.
Okay, and then Miller and Associates needs the,
Advertisement.
Yeah.
so is that actually signed by the mayor or?
No, they didn't say that it needed a resolution or anything. They just need to make sure that it's in the minutes as a
Okay.
motion.
And that's on the advertisement for the bids, right?
Yes,
Cause it says mayor, but I can just cross that.
yes.
So we need a motion to approve the Miller and Associates advertising.
Yes.
Advertising for bids, yep.
I'll make that motion.
Moved by Larry, second by Darryl, all in favor?
And is that the same type of thing that he will sign the mayor?
No, that's what I was just asking.
Oh,
Lauren, we went ahead and approved the resolution with the modification of the signature line.
okay.
That says, President of Council, and then we just approved the advertisement for bids. It says mayor, but I think I can just cross that off and put President of Council. Do you agree, where that's not a resolution?
Yes.
That's just
Okay.
giving them permission.
Yeah. Anything else on the Miller and Associates? Dan, any input or?
Really. I mean, they're gonna put a big fancy crosswalk in at the school, everything works out. I talked to the school, they're good with it.
Again, with it?
I didn't talk to the lady that has your house, cause I have a wall there,
Which side of the school?
east side. You know where the stairs are, that go down?
Grade school.
Toby's mom still there? On the corner?
But it's not, it's on the other side of the.
It's on the other side where they're putting the wall in, on the north side of the street.
Oh, where Kelly used to.
We'll have to put a wall in and then put a ramp, like a 25-foot ramp, to make it handicap accessible. I don't know what you're doing to get to the alley, I guess, go off the curb. But then right there at the school, they're gonna put where the stairs are to go down into the grade school area. Crosswalk in there, they'll have to have a handrail to block it so they don't come up and fall into the crosswalk area. I talked to the superintendent of the school, and he was good with it, so. Unless we run out of money for that, that's where they'll scratch, not doing it.
Anything else on streets?
No,
Chris?
no.
My turn.
You're up.
So I wanted to let you guys know that I applied for a seed grant for beautification through the Department of Commerce. And it's basically to be able to do 3 murals. There'll be one done here in St. Francis, one in Burr City, and then one at the Thresher Grounds. So I did get awarded that, so it's $50,000. So very excited
That's awesome.
about it. I'm going to be working with CC4C to try to hopefully find a local artist, as well as get the artist ideas, where to put it, what to do, all that. So I don't have those answers yet. But part of the Department of Commerce's requirements, there has to be a $5,000 match. Cheyenne County Kansas Community Foundation has agreed to that match, but we have to apply for the grant through them, which I cannot do through CCDC. So I was here to see if I could go through the city to apply for that $5,000 match grant for the Department of Commerce. So
Will you be writing it then?
I will, basically,
help
she
us
sends me the
plan.
paperwork, I fill it out, she submits it, so.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sounds good.
Any
There's still
locations?
Oh, I'm sorry.
What's
go
that?
ahead.
Any locations? Any ideas yet?
We've had a couple of ideas, but it really is gonna come down to the artist and the cost. I've honestly been kind of looking into, instead of doing one large mural, what about doing 2 or 3 little murals? Because we don't really have here in town, a great big wall that's open, that's really visible. So I think it almost might be smarter to try to break it up a little bit and get more than one mural, so.
So is there still any discussion about superfoods, side of superfoods or something?
So we did, talk a little bit about that. The problem is that will prevent them from ever expanding. So they're not real excited about it. So,
Yeah.
we also talked about doing it, basically it's the interior wall on 202, like their little courtyard. Problem is if they ever did weddings or something, whatever, that mural might not be appropriate for their event, so it would possibly cause issues. So, ideally, I'm kind of looking at trying to find a location right on the highway. So something that maybe we could use to help draw people down to Washington.
I
So,
would offer up my building for that,
okay,
my motorcycle shop on the west side.
okay,
The whole side you could do, even the glass, it's not even in use,
okay.
so that whole
I
space
will do a
could be
drive-by
done.
tomorrow and see, and, I've been trying to take pictures to be able to show the artists, different ideas and,
Yeah.
locations, so
Cool.
that would be exciting.
Or maybe even Ed's.
Bowling alley.
Part,
See, I keep thinking that, well, I really want to do the bowling alley,
but if somebody buys it, then
Yeah,
you
then
know,
they don't want it,
that's,
yeah.
Heartland, we always talked
Well,
about
we,
doing Heartland.
and Heartland's
Yeah.
been brought up
Yeah,
as
well.
well, so,
That's a nice big wall.
Mhm.
yeah, so.
Or the entire grain elevator, I think.
See, whole side of equity.
The
Well,
whole side of the grain elevator.
I keep looking at the elevator and we obviously, the financials won't
Yeah, that'd
allow,
be a
but
lot.
I don't know if we could get it big enough to where you can really see it, so.
Yeah.
The one in Burr City, we're hoping to be on the elevator, but,
Cool.
so.
Thank you.
Alrighty,
Thanks.
thank you. So, let's see, we lifted up Miller Associates, right? Under that Miller Associates, it says review and consider drawings and specifications pending, do we need to do anything with that, or?
No, not at this time. He is actually going to be sending the drawings out via mail because the file was too large.
Okay. So now we have the budgeted allocations for CCDC of $30,991, Senior Center of $8,800, Options Domestic Violence of $2,500, and Western Kansas Child Advocacy Center of $2,500.
Those are all
We're
already,
budgeted for them, we just usually pay them out in January, just need to make a
Yeah.
motion to.
so moved.
Moved by Gail, second by Dara, all in favor? Right. Trav, you're up.
Well, I got a building, 24-foot by 30-foot building, double garage to sit out there on the lot. Plans on building that. Kind of was having a hard time coming up with a structure to put out there. A lot of it was depending on getting that open next door on what I was gonna be able to afford a year from now. So we're still kind of up in the air on everything like that, but this is a pretty solid go-to. So, it's a structured building, or a pole building, or a stick building out of, Menards, just kind of put it together on their website. And there's a digital plan, there'll be foundation, or excuse me, a footing, and, of course, depending on concrete prices and how much money I have here or there, whether I concrete the floor. But one way or another, we'll have a footing underneath it. As far as the location on the lot, I'll have to do some grading and see where I'm gonna be putting it, but obviously keep it far enough away for any, 3-foot allowances on eaves and all that stuff I'm very familiar with. Assuming we got everything kind of, as far as the legal description figured out and price now, and Mike and Cindy have their little swath that they're gonna be purchasing back from the spillover, is that still the plan here?
Yes, they
Cool.
purchased that little,
Yeah,
or
right. It was
whatever, where
just
their rock, where they built it up and then the rest, which Lauren, you have
kind
that
of just
correct?
spilled over or whatever, yeah.
I
But
believe they've already,
No, for his legal,
oh,
I don't remember what the measurements were, but it was,
a little
I have
odd,
the,
wasn't
I
it?
have the description that you sent to me.
yeah, but I just don't remember what it.
It was 112 on one end, 113 on the other, and 80 foot, I believe, so it was kind of a odd shape, but it was, and as far as what Mike was purchasing back, I think it was just another 12 foot or something like that, where he built up, and his material pretty well spilled over on. That's nothing I'm gonna be able to use because his material's there, so that's kind of why we drew it up that way, but that's the structure I came up with. So carport obviously went up on smoke. I had that available and then not, and then we're on to contingency plan number 14 at this point, guys, so.
Is the purchase all done?
No,
Trav has not purchased because we needed the specifics to put on the deed, so that way
Right.
we had the stipulation as to what he needed to.
and
You need it?
not
I need
necessarily,
it.
please. But no, asking price, and I mean, do I come into your office, City Hall for the price? I mean, it really, I can find out there, you don't have to pull up.
I will, what we will do is I will get the deed prepared and it'll have the price and the stipulations and everything on it.
So,
And we'll call you when that's ready. You can come in and take a look, review the deed. If you have any questions, let me know. If not, you can pay that plus the $21 filing fee.
Okay.
I think we can get it all on one page. If not, it'll be 38 because it's 21 for the first page and then 17 for the next one.
Okay.
But we'll try and get it all on one page for you. So I'll get that all prepared and then we'll give you a call and you can come in. If you have any questions on it, let me know.
Sure.
Otherwise, you can pay for it and sign it and pay for it and then they'll sign it at the next.
But the city's, what we charge is, how much? Yeah.
Oh.
Because that's what I think you were asking.
Building
right? How much-
permit and stuff like that probably and all that.
Um,
Oh, I mean, just whatever the cost of the property, I just,
It's the
no,
same
you
as
were
what,
trying, that's
yeah,
fine,
it's the same
yeah.
as whatever
It's
everybody
not
else is
gonna
out
change
there.
much
So
of it,
It's-
yeah.
it's so much a square yard, it's kind of a,
Yeah, it's a
It
odd.
wasn't much, I know that.
It's
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
yeah.
No, it ain't, it is based on the dollar. Winter chicken dinner, so I get it, it's,
Yeah.
we'll make it work, and I do have 12 months to begin construction, is that correct, guys?
You-
That was my understanding.
12 months, it's previously been used until the end of it to complete construction.
Well, I don't know if I can sign up for that, the way materials are coming in then, I guess, to be quite honest, guys. I'm 52 weeks out on a transformer to even get my business open, so I mean, I don't think I can sign on for that, to be quite honest. My understanding in previous conversation when I was talking to you guys was that construction needed to start at 12 months. And that means pouring footing, stuff like that, and that was kind of a conversation with Rob Schultz as well that I had when he purchased a similar deal, I believe. So I guess we'll have to figure that out and then that'll determine whether I purchase or not, but I can't get that structure completed in 12 months, I got too much to do next door.
And I guess that's,
I don't know.
I don't know what all the other ones, I mean, obviously we can go back and pull deeds and.
I'm pulling them up right now. Give me just a minute to remote into my server.
Where are we at on the transformers, Dave? We ordered one at all, or?
Well, if you want that 208 three-phase, I have one. That's what I told you the last time.
That $10,000 pad mount?
No, it's
Oh,
a $6,000 pad mount.
$6,000 pad mount, still a pretty heavy variable to throw at a guy. You guys are gonna be making your money back, just not as fast as you want it. What's the status on the pole mounts? We gotta order those and those are 52 weeks out, is that still the,
Yeah,
Status?
I've got some ordered, but
you do have some order?
yeah,
Okay,
Well,
one that will
it's
work for mine,
probably. That's not gonna be 208 though, it's gonna be 240,
so we haven't ordered one.
not
Okay.
208.
So what do we need to do to get a pole mounted order? Do I need to purchase it first before you even order it, or do I need to just show more interest?
I'd have to call them and get, cause 208's a whole different ballgame, so.
Yeah, I don't know, and that's definitely why I put you in contact with Terrence, I'm
Yeah.
above my
I was
knowledge on
saying,
it.
if you want 208, then in a pole top, we'll have to order that
Right,
as well.
and that, I thought that's what we discussed a
You
month or
have to
two
order
ago.
Probably 3 of them,
Yeah.
208.
So what's the contribution on that side then? Okay, can we call them and get some numbers for me, man, because I've been inquiring about this with the city for 52 weeks now as it is, and I know half of it's with JR, half of it's with you, but that's, I mean, still been asking for electricity for this business for a year now, guys, and nothing's ordered. If you can see my frustration here, I really need some electricity to start this business, and I'd really like to start this business, so, whatever we need to do that. If we could come up with some figures on what I would owe, so I could figure out whether to take on a $6,000 option or a mystery number option, I'd really appreciate it. Okay, thanks.
That would have to be, after today, Vicky Kelly will send an email out, and you'd have to have that paid, cause they don't wanna be stuck with any of the bill on the transformers. If they choose to,
Well, sure, yeah, I'm
you
gonna
know,
be paying for
how they
everything.
choose to do it, that was, She
She
was
sent a
worried, she was
letter.
worried about getting stuck with the bill if it was only partly paid or something like that.
Heck, I'm just worried about it even hitting the front door. I mean, it's, gotta have money to, or gotta spend money to make money, I suppose. I don't know what her concern is, I suppose, and I haven't heard anything from that, so I guess I'll have to
Yeah, I
contact her.
was just looking for the email. Do you have a copy of it? Did you get one?
I'm just now looking at it, 'cause it's out on the share, and I couldn't get to it when I was at home.
I thought I had one. I was gonna share with you a copy of it.
Did we all get one, or did she?
Should be under the superintendent.
Oh.
I don't see it.
There it is.
Well, I suppose that's just kind of part of the risk of having a lease with her, but, I mean,
Lisa,
anything I add to it is, it's all written in our contract just fine. I don't believe this is a concern that's, I mean, yeah, any work I do to it is on my dollar and that's worded in our contract just the same, so I don't think it should fall back on her anyway. I mean, I gotta pay for it, I gotta pay for it. That's kind of the whole, any improvements to it are on my, I can't remember how it's worded, but it definitely covers her butt. I mean, she did just fine on getting it drawn up. But no, I don't think that should be any concern.
All deeds thus far have been, the work must be completed within the time set forth on the deed. So it'll be up to the council if you wanna extend that time beyond a year. But it does state, because if it's not completed by that date, then it reverts to the city. So it is, because if we say it has to be started by that date, it might not be finished for 4 years. And it is sold at such a discount, my understanding is to bring in revenue for property taxes. Also the price per square yard is 29 cents per square yard. So quite
I don't know if
reduced.
You guys are noticing how materials are coming in, guys. Ain't nobody gonna get building up in a year.
And that's
I
what
can't even get a sewer line in half a year from Brock over here or get any dirt work or concrete work. So, I mean, that's just gonna put me in a tight spot that I'm,
So considering with all these problems with getting stuff, like we all know that's happening, so what if we did start it in a year and complete it in 2? Considering
not agreed
the
to
current
that.
climate, would that work?
Sure, absolutely.
I mean, do you guys think that's okay, or,
I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah, I don't either.
I mean, it is a pain to get anything.
It is.
We gotta be realistic.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly, we can't,
And of course, I'd like to put up as nice a building as I need, you know,
Yeah.
but that's not always what you can afford, but I'm really hoping to have a heck of a year once I get my doors open or start making money one way or another.
yeah.
So, it sounds like you guys need a dog catcher. I mean,
That's true.
really good with animals.
Okay, so just to be clear, may I keep these?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I can give them back to you with the deed, but I need them for to put what's
Sure.
going to happen
No,
with the deed.
absolutely.
Okay, I will get that prepared. We'll give you a call. I'll get that prepared this week. I'll give you a call. You look it over. If you have any questions,
Perfect.
let me know. If not, you can pay the total amount to Leanne or to
Yeah.
Jen. Once that's paid, it'll be submitted to the council for their approval and Amanda's signature.
Sounds good. Appreciate it, guys.
Yep.
Thanks for all the work on it. I know it's been a grueling.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Joe.
guys.
See you guys.
What's 200 versus 240? What does that mean?
he'll only
32
have
volts.
122 he'll no longer have 240.
I don't understand that. So.
One leg's a lower voltage, right? It's
One
like,
legs, there's
one's like-
120 legs going into the building.
So why that versus 240?
cause some equipment runs on 208, I don't know why, but it does.
That's still 3-phase? don't have what he needs to start.
If he wants pole top.
Yeah,
For 208,
but it's more money.
I thought at first he wanted 240, but,
Wait, that's what he said the first time.
right, so now it's 208. And pull top, we have nothing for 208 pull top, but we had pull top for.
Well, I do
240.
have some two-way pole top, but they're gonna be claimed from the AT&T building.
Oh,
I just need to see if I can work that around, make sure they're the right size.
and I'm assuming we would do the same thing, we would take off the cost of what a regular 120 service would be, what was like 1,500 or going price, whatever. Then he just pays the difference. So we just gotta get that figured out, right? As soon as you get pricing.
I don't know how you're gonna figure that, like on his, cause the single phase is already there.
Right.
Ain't gonna cost us anything. It's already hooked up.
Right.
On new construction, I see where you're saying that. The
Right.
difference in us putting in.
Yeah, cause 208 is all new, all different.
I guess, I know Vicky was in the office today with concerns, just because they don't want to be stuck. And I don't know, I don't think there's anything in our ordinance that you found as far as if the actual owner has to be the one requesting the upgrade, or how. Lauren, what's your thoughts on that?
As far as the,
So Killingsworth owned that. Travis is a leasing.
sorry, I was making notes on
No, you're
what needs to
fine.
be done for the deed.
So, Travis is purchasing that, but it's.
Right.
It's a lease to own with Killingsworth. He's requesting an upgrade to the electrical. Ben and Vicky are concerned, obviously, like if it was a payment plan or something with the city, they don't wanna be stuck with the added expense if something fell through and he didn't open it up. Would it have to be the actual property owner that would have to request the upgrade in electrical?
I would think,
I know, that's,
I think that it probably needs to be the owner, because if they,
I thought that cost had to be paid up front before we.
that's what I was
Well,
gonna say, I thought,
if it's
If
paid
it's
up
paid
front, but
up
I
front.
think at least they know it's paid and they're giving their consent that
That
he
it can
can
be done,
request that
yeah.
he's
Right.
paying it. I think we need to have them on board to
I,
consent that,
Well, it sounds like they already are. They're on board as long as he pays for it. Right?
and
They
I,
just don't wanna get stuck with the cost.
I mean, I don't know that a payment plan to the city is,
It's gotta be paid up front.
right,
which, yeah, our
yeah, I mean, as long
agreement
as it's,
has to be paid up front, but I still think we want something on record for the city that
Oh,
the actual
absolutely.
owner is okay.
I agree,
or
I
requested.
agree.
Okay,
Because it's not, it hasn't been deeded with a mortgage, it's an installment sale with a affidavit of equitable interest or something along those lines, correct? The title is still,
I don't even know that there's an affidavit.
It's
I
a
think
lease,
there's
isn't
just, I think there's just a lease agreement. I don't think there's been an affidavit.
oh, then in that case, it absolutely
Yeah.
needs,
Yeah,
it absolutely needs. I mean, it's one thing if there's been a
an
purchase-
affidavit, at least you know that he's got a vested interest, but I don't,
We're
I
gonna
don't-
change in voltage into the building, I think you'd have to owner would
have to,
want to have.
I agree,
yes.
I'm not sure,
I don't know how, like,
You have them sign off on something or what?
that's what I don't.
yeah, I mean, I think, well, here's, once we know exactly what's going, cause based on that conversation, we don't know exactly what's going in, he hasn't made a decision, is that correct? So I think what we need to do is here's exactly what it is, this is exactly what it is, what the cost is going to be, how it's going to change what is currently there, send that to the owners and get them to sign off. Basically, we'll send a written statement to them along with all of that stating they've reviewed the attached information and consent to this work being done on their property, provided that there is no cost to them. I mean, I think that that's what and I don't think the city is expecting them to. furnish any cost for input.
Mm-mm.
No, cause otherwise they wouldn't do it.
How soon can you get pricing, Dan?
Tomorrow morning.
Okay.
I could've done it a long time ago, but I never could get a solid answer for
Yeah,
what they wanted.
that's what I
Told them I
thought.
had a pad mount, they were good, and they weren't good, so.
Right.
Property cleanup.
That, the property, the Morris property, that the person said they would deed it over to the city as of Friday. The taxes had not been paid on it. So I have not yet prepared the deed, the quitclaim deed for them to deed that over to the city. Because the taxes aren't paid, and if they deed it over prior to the taxes being paid, I'm not sure that they're ever going to get paid. I think we looked into it and it was something like $115 was the taxes that were owed. 150.
Might have been a couple $100.
Okay.
I don't remember. It wasn't a lot.
But so before I sent that deed, I guess I wanted to speak with the council. Does the council want to wait to do that until the property taxes are paid? Does the council want to do that and hope that the property taxes get paid, and if not, the city will pay the property taxes? I'm just not sure. I didn't want to create a liability for the city as far as the taxes go before speaking with the council, so I have not sent that deed yet.
I guess I would say as soon as it's in the city's name, we better pay the taxes,
Mhm.
so we don't have delinquent taxes.
But do you want me to wait to send the deed until the taxes are paid, or do you want me to just send it and get it taken care of? Because I'm fairly certain that the cost for publication in the hearing might be what the taxes. I don't know how much the cost would be to publish the full resolution with notice of the hearing, which is required by statute.
What's the hearing for?
If you were to condemn the property, this is one of the properties that is beyond property cleanup. It is now in condemnation
We'll have the
status.
cost
So if you quit claim it and the city takes ownership,
The city will
Paid
need
a
to pay the
couple
taxes.
$100
we
in
can do whatever
taxes
we wanna
and-
do with it at that point.
Correct. And he had said we had sent him a letter stating this property is in condemnable condition. We are attempting to resolve this as easily for all parties involved as possible. Your options are send us a plan with how you plan on bringing it up to code, along with a timeline of that plan, and we will, I guess, check up on that and follow it, and we will keep it out of condemnation proceedings. Or if you just want to be done with it, you can quit claim it to the city and walk away. And then the city will be responsible for.
He's probably assuming then that he's not gonna have to pay the taxes.
Mhm.
Well, Leanne had spoken with him and he said he thought he'd already paid them. And so this was last year, I don't think it was last week.
Yeah.
Because I gave it a week to the mail and the holidays and everything. So I gave it until last, I think it was Friday, it was either Thursday or Friday, but I stopped in to Amanda's office and I spoke with Priscilla, and she stated that the taxes had not yet been paid on that property. So I guess it's up to the council whether, if you want me to send the deed now, and then if it goes into the city's name, the city will just pay the taxes, or if you want me to, I guess, push and see if we can get the taxes paid before it goes to the city.
Are they
We're just
past- are they past
prolonging
due?
it. And
Right.
I know, and
They're
there'll be
just
more
20, well, they're past due because they're 22 taxes. But every other year is current, it's just this year. So it's current up till this point.
I'd say quit claim it and get it done.
Yeah.
Just pay the taxes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will get that out.
motion
agree with
for
that?
that, I guess we can. Do we need a motion?
That's probably a good idea.
I need a motion to approve going forward with sending the quick claim and paying the taxes, once it's in the city's name, paying the taxes.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Larry, second by Kayla, all in favor? Alright. Anything else, property cleanup?
Has the other gentleman gotten back to you?
No,
Okay.
not yet.
So the other property that was condemnable, we sent a letter to the individual on the tax statement. And he stated that he was not the sole owner. It's owned between him and his siblings, and he was going to speak with his siblings and let us know what they wanted to do. We have not heard back yet. I've not heard, my office has not heard back, and it appears that the city has not heard back. Do you want me to send a follow-up with, we'd previously given you this option? I think it's been more than a month since communication had been had. We previously given you this option. We've not heard anything. If we do not hear from you by the end of January, we will commence condemnation proceedings against the property. Is that
Sounds good to me.
okay?
Get it over with. Right? Why
Perfect.
drag it out? They must not be
Cause
too
as far as
concerned.
the records at the courthouse, it's just the one owner.
I didn't see when we got I think it was the property record card that was sent to me. It didn't say like 50%. It didn't have a percentage. It just had one name on it. And so I'm not sure. I mean, obviously, if they elect to quit claim it, I will go up and see how it was deeded or how it was conveyed via a state proceeding or whatever happened with it. I will go check that so I can make sure we're getting all of the appropriate signatures. Otherwise, I mean, if they're going to want to clean it up, I don't see the point in having me go and do that research until.
I don't either,
But I did not see on the property record card that it showed.
it's just, but I thought maybe that, it was my understanding that maybe that owner is deceased, but I don't know that 100%. So if that's the case, then it's, obviously they didn't go through probate. It's gonna come down to, let me double check
Okay.
tomorrow.
Would you? Yeah, let me know.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'll send a follow-up letter to the individual who, because we sent it to whomever was on the tax, we sent it to where the tax statements were going.
Correct.
Because the taxes have been paid.
Which location is this?
Up there by Bing's Danette.
By the county shop?
Mm-hmm.
East or west?
East?
It's in between College and the county shop. That's on 3rd Street, so it's a little bit south of the county shop.
Yeah, maybe.
Next to my brother's building. In between my brother's building and Bing's.
So it'd be west.
So that's not the Morris one, is it?
No.
It's on
The Morris one is on 4th,
That was on.
and that's the one that is agreeing to quit clean it to the city.
Anything else on property? Dan? Projects pending. We have Precision Impressions LLC visit.
Is that a bench up?
No, this was for the, well, it is for the band shell.
Does he,
Yeah, the mayor had come by and let us know that they are willing to come and see the site itself, but they are requiring a $500 trip. So, he just wanted me to make sure that you guys are aware, and if you want to approve it, then we can call them up and,
Kind of
Yeah.
expected.
kind of getting
I
somebody
think
out
we need
here.
to find out, if we get somebody to come out,
We have somebody willing to come out, it's just a matter of how easy to get, but the cost of things coming up free of charge, so I hear a motion to,
Where are they from?
Isn't that Fort Collins?
Loveland or something.
Colorado's. I don't remember.
That way.
So I hear a motion to approve paying $500 to Precision. Any questions? Moved by Dara,
so
seconded by Larry, all in favor? Okay. Anything else on project spending?
Oh, I had a question about the industrial park area. Was there, something with Schultz's property and the lines,
So,
has that been figured out?
I guess the mayor called me this morning, and he had visited with Rob Schultz, and he was a little bit upset with what was in the paper last week. And because it had listed that there was a discrepancy with Schultz property, and we had filed a new deed. And so I think Scott got him clarified that it wasn't, it was the Tim Riley property that we had the discrepancy in that, his
Oh,
property.
okay.
So,
Alright, so he's good. Yeah,
I believe so, but Scott had just mentioned that maybe I forgot to clarify that
yeah.
there wasn't any changes to Rob Schultz's property with,
So wherever
Yes,
it's
they
at, he's all good. It was right. Okay. Cool.
okay. There's nothing else on project spending. Streets project, do we have anything? Thanks, since we just went through all that.
So we went through all of it.
Okay, Leanne, you don't have anything additional?
Mm-mm.
Okay. This is your superintendent report.
No building permit. Okay, the LED panel thing, it's been
See you,
replaced.
See ya, thanks.
thank you.
As far as being able to get it and put it on the shelf, we can't, they took it off the roll back like right now. They'll bill us for us. So I just got it replaced.
Have you rebuilt them?
That's why they want it back.
So did they come to town? Oh, you just had to go get it.
I picked it up and got it and changed it.
I see. They still haven't taken that sign down.
Village,
Village.
yeah, we're gonna do that.
Oh, you guys are doing it.
I think so.
Okay.
That's the plan. Okay, the old loader, I still don't know what's wrong with it. It's not on the road, so we may have a problem. Start it. Let me know if we need more. Okay, I got a chemical bed, I think it's on the shirt. 3411 from Equity.
For next year?
Well, for this summer.
Yeah.
That's for pool?
That's parks.
Parks, everything? Oh, just
Parks
parks.
and pretty much everything. Parks
Yeah.
takes care of it, yeah.
Okay. Need a motion approved?
Second.
Moved by Kale, second by Larry, all in favor? Alright.
Okay, board, do we wanna get them back out here as soon as we can?
Yeah, right.
We'll go ahead and
Yeah.
approve. We didn't make a motion to spend the money last time, we're gonna wait till after the first. And I assume you still want to do 200,000, like we always have.
That's what we budgeted, correct?
So now you would need to make the motion.
Yes.
So moved.
Motion by Kale, seconded by Dara to spend the 200,000 to get Wood Electric to do the next phase of the electrical upgrade. All in favor? So moved.
Okay, the grant I talked about last time I was in here, it's changed now. It's not the one we wanted to to begin with, so I called the other day and talked to him. So I'll be asking for a different grant waiver. So there's a different one coming out, but they haven't got it all fine-tuned yet, to what the rules are to get it, so.
Which grant was that?
This is like one of grip grants.
Grid. It was the grid grant that we were gonna do the concept paper for.
But this grant's actually more for high, I don't know how to say it, fancy equipment, like stuff we don't have here.
Yeah.
He called it microgrid type stuff, so I was like, yeah, microgrid, we're out of that. You said micro, we're done. Kelly's worth a ton for that. The transformer disposal thing, I got 2 bids and these didn't get put on the shared. This one, worst case scenario would be $14.85 to dispose of 2 transformers. And the other one was trust me, you wanna go with that one. 7,000.
Oh my god. Cost of a new one.
More than
More than,
Wow.
yeah. That's insane.
Where do you have to take it? Or send it?
Solomon gets those.
Do they come get them, or
Yeah,
they refurb them, or?
I don't just dispose of them with the high PCBs, probably. That's why they cost so much to dispose of.
Yeah.
So I guess I need an approval if you guys are good with that price.
Yeah.
I'm good with coming.
Have a motion.
Yep.
Moved by Gail,
Second.
second by Dara, all in favor?
The lower one.
Lower.
Lower.
14.58.
Maybe we should
14.58.
specify
Yeah.
which one.
14.58.
The high one, yeah.
Yeah. Johnson Sewer contacted me today. They're gonna be out probably in the next 2 weeks to do the 2022, well, it's supposed to be 2022 budget. And then they'll go ahead and do the 2023 if we wanted to now, and we should have the same amount we had. Which was, what was it? 24,700.
Let's go through and check everything.
They'll go through and clean camera what we want them to. He basically told me if I give him a price, so if I did this price times 2 and told him what the price is, he'll stay under that. If you guys wanna motion to spend the money for this year too, then
Do we have that budget to do all that?
Because we budgeted for last year, and then we
Yeah.
encumbered last year's because the work wasn't done, and so then
We
we have
did
budgeted.
encumbered.
Yes.
Then yeah, we better do it.
I'll make that motion.
Moved by
Second.
Larry, second by Gail, all in favor? Okay.
that's basically all I got. I wanna look into a small trailer, but I don't have good pricing. Right now I'm guessing it's gonna be around $2,000, like something that Orsol's has. And the reason for that is we got to talking the other day about like, we have a brand new snow blower that never gets used, that probably ought to be cleaning the parks and sidewalks and stuff when it snows, especially since we have an ordinance that says we get 12 hours to clean them. So,
Clean the parks.
any sidewalk, you got 12 hours from the time it snows to clean your sidewalk. That's your ordinance.
Is you looking for an enclosed trailer?
No,
It's open flat.
just an open,
Oh, okay.
like a little 5.5 by 10.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I'm thinking Orsol's gonna be the closest place that's around this area. I mean, you go to my backyard, there's 3 or 4.
Like, you probably get one cheaper if you find somebody in town that has one that's not using it anymore.
Yeah,
Someone might
so
have.
I'll do some checking and try to come back next meeting.
Check, next set classifieds, there might be one out there we can grab.
That's all I got.
I had a question about, do we still wanna start, or keep looking for trash trucks,
Yes.
so we need to get that rolling, cause we only got a few months left, right?
When does that expire?
August, isn't it?
Is it August?
Is that when the new contract started?
I don't remember.
I don't
We
know.
talked about that
I think it was
Thursday, but I don't remember
August.
what,
August or September?
when was it?
It was somewhere in there. I don't
Yeah.
remember exactly.
Anyways, yeah, keep looking.
Yeah.
Man, can you find out when the contract started for the trash service,
Yes.
please?
What we paying now, 13,800 a month,
Oh, it's more than that, it's
14,000?
16.
16.
Oof.
I guess the other thing I'll bring up before I say I'm done is, I did notice Wappa power went up, so our power's all going up. So, might be something we wanna consider in the near future, raising our rates. We haven't raised our rates for a long time, so.
Is WAPA on a variable rate?
I think so.
Does it kind of fluctuate with the market kinda, or, no, that's the gas is that way, right? The gas is real sensitive to market conditions.
I didn't have time to get too deep into it, I'll try to bring more information back next meeting, but I just want you guys to be aware it is going up.
I don't know what that was. What was
Anything
this month's, sorry? Was it sunflower?
I don't know,
Prairie land, yeah, what was our bill?
I don't know what the bill was, but
Was it?
I actually got a paper that said we're going up this amount, we're going up this amount, lots of stuff.
January power, 4,073. KV WAPA operating fund. I don't see a prairie land on here, but maybe we just haven't got it yet. Could that be? Prairie land bill?
I haven't seen one.
Yeah.
Trash was 16,202.40.
Okay.
Also, the contract expires on August 14th of 2023.
Okay,
Thank
that's
you.
what we were after, yeah, thank you.
Oh yeah, there it is, 16.
Anything else for Dan?
No.
If not, do I hear a motion to accept and file the superintendent's report?
So moved.
Moved by Gail,
Second.
second by Larry, all in favor? Attorney report.
I need 10 minutes of executive session. Other than that, I don't have anything.
Okay. Clerk report?
So I put out there the KMIT new quote for, I believe that is for the workers' comp insurance for this year, for your guys' review. I also have met with Larry, he's our sales rep for the Massa Transport. He states that our rates are not going up, he just needs us to update our membership agreement. I guess they have a new regulation that they have to put in there if there is a high savings account or the flex spending account. This just covers that basis, and would like approval to be able to sign it.
You said it's out here on the.
Yeah. it's on
Yeah.
there. this, updated agreement. Now there's the 2019 one that's like that.
Gotcha. Do you have a motion to approve?
So,
Moved by Gail, second by Dara, all in favor?
Okay, and then I just put out there for the AirMed. This is also one of the, if you get injured, they will fly you out. Just to show that the rates are going to be changing. This one doesn't change though until August.
You said AirMed?
Yeah. I believe this one might actually be under the clerk link.
Okay.
Motion to approve that, or any questions?
Have to approve it?
Do you have to approve it?
No,
I don't think-
no, this was just for your guys' information.
Cause we pay that for the,
The employees purchase it, they reimburse the city cuts the check. I have two more.
I ran ahead, I'm just like, I don't know, I'm like.
I'm
lost
just
on
making
the-
sure.
The shared drive, like, where am I at? I get back to where we're at, okay, so you're good.
FNB Bank is requiring a motion to remove JR from the signature lines. Apparently he's still on, I don't know for which accounts, but they require us to do a motion and to get it on the minutes to take down to them.
So moved.
Um,
No?
is Lila still on there, do we need a motion to remove her?
We already removed her.
Okay, so, moved by Larry,
Second.
second by Dara, all in favor? Okay,
And then the last one was that part of the bills was a membership subscription for the Institute for the Municipal Court Clerk. I don't remember how much it was, and I could not locate my email for it, but Jen wanted me to make sure to bring it up to your guys' attention, that it was
should,
part of there.
what's that, there's municipal court. That's not too, I don't remember.
I don't know, I came across it.
Right here, Kansas Municipal, nope, that's not it. That's not it, Kansas Municipal Insurance Trust
No,
and Workers' Comp. Oh, Kansas Association for Court Management, $50?
yes.
Any issues with approving that?
Any what?
Issues with approving the fees for that?
Have to do it, no?
Yeah. Moved by Dara,
Second?
second by Larry.
Nope, that is all that I have.
If not, if there's any questions for Leanne, if not, is there a motion to accept and file the
So,
clerk report? Moved by Kale,
Second.
second by Vera, all in favor? Alrighty. Why can't I get that? Council comments, Kale.
JR here?
I just
all I
got,
got.
I just got a new phone on Friday, and so there was a lady at Verizon, she couldn't get everything to transfer, so she was downloading every app on my phone, and she starts going through asking me all these questions, do you want this app? And she's like, cricket sounds? I'm like, yes, I have to have cricket
Got
sounds
it.
on my phone. Have to have cricket sounds. Anyways,
That's it,
Nathan,
just crickets.
No.
Larry?
Have we heard any more from our attorney?
Yes.
That can be discussed in executive or?
Other than I visited with him and he's proceeding forward. So,
One of my topics is, communication subject to attorney-client privilege. So I guess if you wanna do that, I have that anyways to open it up, so if you wanna talk about that during then.
okay. Do you guys want to review bills, or you want to let Lauren?
We
Is
can
there anything
Let
else
her
I'm
go.
missing?
What?
Is there anything else I'm missing that we're gonna bring up?
I don't think so.
Lauren, would you like to go, and then we'll review the bills?
Yeah, that's fine, or I can wait for whatever council wants.
That won't take long.
No.
Everybody's looked through them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll move to approve.
Kale moved to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved by Kale, second by Dara. The only thing, on the, why can I not find anything tonight?
You had a question on something?
On the signature for the, ordinance number 1070, it has, the 12th day of December. Yes, before we go ahead and finalize the motion, make sure that we're signing off.
I have the correct hard copy.
Okay, perfect. I just saw that and I'm like, wait a minute, it's not 2022 anymore. All right, so it's moved by
No, I don't.
Gail, seconded by Dara. All in favor? Right. Motion passed. Lauren, who would you like to?
I just need council.
Motion to go into executive session for 10 minutes for attorney-client privilege.
I have two topics, so one of them is going to be non-elected personnel, employee compensation, and the other one is going to be, potential litigation, communication subject to attorney-client privilege.
All within the,
10 minutes?
I would
15?
It shouldn't, we can do 15, yeah, I mean, if we're gonna add the Jeter thing in, let's
I
make
don't know
it
that there's anything to add, but
okay.
I think that would, we can always come,
Yeah,
go
10?
back in for 5.
I think, yeah, 10 would be fine,
Okay.
I think I can do everything in 10.
Okay, do I hear a motion to go into executive session for 10 minutes?
So,
Moved by Kale, second by Larry, all in favor? Like, wait,
I stood up first.
we're out of executive session, there's no decisions made. So,
And I stood there first.
Larry moved to adjourn, Kale second, all in favor?